Yo, what's going on, guys? So today we're going to do a quick video on one of my favorite boxes. It's called Pickle RICK on Try Hack Me. If you guys have never done this box, it's extremely easy, but it's a lot of fun just because it's Rick and Morty themed, which is awesome. And then so this is the box itself. I already have the answers, obviously. I did this box. It's one of the first boxes I did on here, but I was going through my walkthroughs that I've written up myself, and notice I didn't have one on this, and I think it's because it's on my old Cali box. So I wanted to go ahead and do it again, and might as well stream it. So first things first, I already did the walkthrough so that we save time, because otherwise you guys would be sitting here while I'm doing in-map scans and things like that, which is kind of a pain. So we did our typical in-map scan, and you can see it's on there. And we'll go ahead and look at it. So this is what the in-map scan looked like. For those of you wondering why I don't make this greppable or put it in greppable format, I usually do if I'm going to use it later, but on this easy box I want you guys to see exactly what I would see on the in-map output. A greppable format is always beneficial if you're going to use it in scripting or in some sort of Python or anything like that. So anyway, here's the scan. We have two ports open. We've got 22, which we know is SSH, and we got 80, which we know is unsecured HTTP. So there's a couple things I would do. First, I've got the IP over here. Open up Firefox, and let's just go to the site. We'll just go, and I'm so used to typing HTTPS that I just do it by default and don't think about it. So it's 10.10.92.89 is what it's looking like. Alright, so you can see we have this website here. Now this box is almost too simple for its own good. You can see it tells you here. Let me make sure you guys can see it. Yep, so you can see it. So it says, "Listen, Morty, I need your help. I've turned myself into a pickle again. This time I can't change back. I need you to burp. Morty, log on to my computer and find the last 3 secret ingredients to finish my pickle reverse potion. The only problem is I have no idea what the burp password was." So if you guys remember, in one of the episodes of Rick and Morty, he turned himself into a pickle. He calls himself Pickle Rick. It's a staple in the show. It's really funny. So anyway, great box. So first things first. Anytime you have a website like this, you're gonna check the source code. It's just something Control U does it, or you can do what I just did. It's just something that most people do. They know by default. And you can see here, note to self: remember username. And you're gonna see these notes in any good coding. And it says username Rick rules. Okay, so cool. So we have a username. So we'd copy that and we'll save it. I'll just open up a notepad and we'll copy this. So we have a username. Okay. Now, most of the time, 95% of the time, what I would do on any type of web site or a web application or anything like that, I'm going to use something like Dirbuster, GoBuster, something like that, and I'm going to try and look for directories. In this one, I actually didn't have to, only because I got lucky and guessed a couple. Some of the basic ones you're going to usually try is like admin or something like that. So it's going to do this for you, save you the trouble. But one I always check is the robots.txt file. I always check this because if you guys don't know, this is basically a file that people put in pages that they don't want web crawlers to find. And it's a very beneficial file for a lot of high-end companies and corporations and things, but because Google won't go through and advertise these results. But as you can see here, we get this wubba-lubba-dub-dub. Okay, cool. So let's copy that and see if it comes in useful. Because usually if it's in the robots.txt file, they don't want you to see it. So, okay. So we got that. And then the next one we got was, once I saw that we're trying to log in, I pretty much guessed that there's going to be a login page. And you can see it's named default login.php. Now, if you did a GoBuster or a Dirbuster on this, any type of directory traversal or directory enumeration, you would find this fairly quickly. I just happened to get lucky and didn't have to. I don't always do that. Typically, it's only on these easier boxes because I know they usually keep them at default names. Now, a lot of times if you're on like a medium box or a harder box, they're not going to be those default names, and you'll have to just sit there and wait for that scan to run. Either way, it's no big deal. So we have a username now, and you can see it's Rick Rules. Let's try this Wubba Lubba Dub Dub as the password. Since it was hidden from us, they didn't want us to have it. Okay, so we got it. Okay, so you can see here, we've got potions. Only the real Rick can view this page. Okay. Creatures. Okay, so they all say that. So we have command line. So let's go ahead and... Alright, so they gave us command. So this seems like it's already pretty easy. Right there's the first one. Super secret pickle ingredient. So let's go ahead and cat that. Cat super secret pickle ingredient. Ooh, okay. So it says command disabled to make it hard for future Pickle Rick. So this lets us run commands, but it only lets us run certain commands. Okay. So my first thought is the fact that since we can run a command, let's try and get a reverse shell. Okay. That's my first go-to since, like I said, we can run the command. So let's go here. We're going to need our own. We're going to need this IP address. 10.2.37.216. Perfect. All right. And then we know that it's, you can see here, it's a PHP. Okay. So what we can do is we can go to Pentest Monkey. Cheat sheets. And there's our reverse shell. All right. So we're going to go ahead and do the Perl, use the Perl reverse shell since it is a PHP and it's probably going to, and it's a web server and it's probably going to accept it. Now you could try these. You can try the PHP. You can try a lot of these and see if they work. You're not gonna, on these boxes, you're not actually worried about getting caught, so it's not like you're gonna set off an alarm because you've tried a bunch of different things. So feel free to try them, see what works and what doesn't. I didn't try all these, so I don't know for sure that it worked. They all work. All right, so there's our reverse shell. So now we're gonna have to change some information in here. So you can see here this IP, you're gonna want this to be your IP, which is what I copied. Whoops. Well, I did copy it, but then I got rid of it. I believe that's right. 10.2.37.216, and we'll make sure that that's right. 10.2.37.216. Perfect. So now keep in mind, we're going to have to set up a netcat listener before we run the reverse shell, because if we don't have anything listening, obviously our reverse shell is not going to work. So we'll just do, let's do port 2000. Doesn't matter. You guys can do them on anything. Now, because I'm using Parrot, if you guys aren't familiar with Parrot OS, it's going to require sudo for pretty much everything. So if you guys notice that I'm using sudo and you're thinking, you don't have to run netcat, you do on Parrot. So just keep that in mind that pretty much everything I do, you have to run sudo. Okay, so it's listening on port 2000. Perfect. So now we changed this. Now we need to change the port that it's going to listen on. So it's going to reach back on 2000 now. Now the nice thing with this script or this shell is you don't have to, this is a command line shell. So we can actually just go in here since it's letting us run commands and we can paste that and execute it. See what it does. Okay, it's just loading. Okay, boom. And we have a reverse shell. So now if we list them, we have that super secret pickle ingredient. Awesome. Now we can actually cat it. The only thing that sucks is with this shell is you don't have you can't tab out and things like that. But you can always, with a shell, you can actually upgrade your shell to like a Python shell or something like that from here if you wanted to. If I was going to be in here for a while and it was going to be a long box, I would definitely do that. Okay, so there's Mr. Me Seek Care for our first one. Okay, and we have right here the Try Hack Me. And you can see here, our first one is Mr. Me Seek Care. Perfect. We got that. All right, now we need to find the second one. So first thing I would do when I get this box, besides since I already knew that that super secret ingredient was there, is I'm going to say, who am I? I want to see what privileges I have. Okay. And I'm going to type sudo L. Now what this does is going to tell me if there's any privileges or anything I can run. Let me make sure you guys can see that. I was afraid that. So this just sudo tac L. It just makes sure that I have privileges and that I'm actually allowed to run certain commands with sudo. Okay, and look, right there it says we can run all commands with sudo. Perfect. So if we need sudo access or root access, we have it. We've already got it because they allow us to run everything with sudo. Awesome. And it says no password. So this is a very unsecure. This would never happen. So let's just go ahead and go all the way back to root directory. Okay. So let's go to home. And we have Rick. I'm going to guess that one of the ingredients is in Rick's. Usually, if you do these CTFs, usually you have one in the whatever user you're messing with. So technically we're logged in as www data, but we're looking at Rick. Usually there's going to be something in his home directory, and there's usually something in the root directory. Now, that's not true for everything. Just keep that in mind. All right, there's our second ingredients. So this one, I'm assuming they purposely put that space in there to kind of try and make people... because this is a very new user-friendly box, so they probably think you're going to try and just go like this and understand that's not going to work. So that's probably what they're doing. All you have to do is put anytime you have spaces in Linux, you can put them in single or double quotations. There you go. And there's our second ingredient, Jerry tier, one Jerry tier. Okay. Now, just because I've done enough of these boxes, I understand that it's probably going to be in the root directory. And there's root. So now usually we wouldn't have access. Okay, can't cd to root, so we don't have access. But since we know we have sudo permissions, we can say sudo cd root. All right. If it works here. All right, for some reason it's saying I can't now. Interesting. Let's try and sudo su switch users. Whoops. Okay, and now cd to root. Oh, because we're already in root directory. So if you guys don't know what I did there, it wouldn't let me cd into root no matter what. Even with sudo, it just was saying it wouldn't work. Whatever. So I did sudo su, which is switch user to root, basically. And then the little dash actually says you can actually, so if you don't put that dash, what happens is you are acting as that user, but you're not put into that user's environment in a sense. So I actually said I want to be fully switched over to root. And this here, then I actually tried to cd into root, but I was already there. And when we list it, there's our third.txt. So now we can cat third.txt, and there's our third ingredient, Fleeb juice. So that's it, guys. That was a super easy box, super simple. Nothing real complex about it. One thing I'll tell you that kind of threw me for a loop, I remember when I first did this box, was that SSH was open and they were asking for logon. So typically what someone would do, or what I might do, is as soon as I get access here, we would try and SSH into the box. But so one thing I know I tried to do before I thought about looking for the password in the robots.txt or anything like that, was just to brute force the SSH, but it actually doesn't take passwords, the SSH. So that means it takes keys, and therefore there's no reason for us to try and brute force it, obviously. So once I figured that out, I knew we're not trying to dive into the SSH because this is a beginner box and there was no key shared with us at that time. So I thought either we're looking for one, we're looking for some sort of SSH key, or we need to log in through the website, which is what we did. So that's it, guys. It's super simple box, super easy. I try to keep it short for you guys. You could probably break this box a lot more ways than that one, to be honest with you. Like I said, based on... Hell, you could probably even guess if you knew enough about the show. Like, obviously, everyone knows Wubba Lubba Dub Dub is his catchphrase. If you could spell it correctly, you probably could have guessed the password without even ever getting through anything. So, let me know what you guys think. If you guys like this box, let me know. It's one of my favorites just because it's so simple and it's just really goofy. And it's not really complex in any way, but it makes you have some fun and have little Easter eggs with the Rick and Morty show. So, that's it, boys. And if you guys do like it, make sure you like and subscribe. And if you want to see other boxes, if there's a certain box that either on Try Hack Me, Hack the Box, any of that stuff that you want to see done, let me know, and I'll try and get something out there as fast as I can. Now, if it's a box that's going to take 2 hours to break, if I can make it a reasonable video, I will. But if it's something that's going to take me 2 hours to make a video on, as far as like I can't cut out steps to make it easier for you guys, I don't think I'll do it on YouTube, at least not right now, because that's a lot of time commitment, and it's also very difficult to break some of the certain processes down without you guys seeing them. So that I don't want to have you guys sitting there watching nothing happen for an hour. You know what I mean? So let me know what you guys think, and hopefully we can keep these going. Thanks, guys.